You're watching special coverage this morning of an extreme weather event that has hit our biggest city, Auckland, but also Bay of Plenty, Northland, Waikato, lots of other areas as well. The weekend's unprecedented rainfall has wreaked havoc on Auckland's already stretched business sector. This after COVID, you name it, the lockdowns. More than 6,000 insurance claims have been lodged so far, and many more expected in the coming days. To break it down, its effect on business, Auckland Business Chamber CEO Simon Bridges is here this morning. Good morning.
Morning.
How big is this? How major is this for Auckland businesses?
Oh, it's major. I mean, obviously there's many impacts, but the business one is a really big one, and we need to get business back on its feet as soon as we can. I mean, we were just talking before, obviously, but in terms of buildings, we already know it's thousands. The economic effect of that, AA Insurance saw saying this is the biggest event they've ever seen in New Zealand outside of Christchurch for them. So it's more than tens of millions. I suspect it's more than hundreds of millions.
For those businesses who are being flooded, let's start with them. I was watching a restaurant yesterday, and all of the stock obviously has to go because you've got the wastewater coming up. Who knows what's been contaminated? So all of the stock has to go. Have you been speaking to them? What are their ideas about timelines for getting back up and running? And then you've got supply disruptions as well, I'm assuming, as everyone's trying to get the same stock. How long is this going to take?
Well, it was quite some time, but what we've got to try and do as best we can, and I suppose the immediate response is one about emergency, but we're also, and I say we, government, business associations and others thinking about these things, we've got to do what we can to get business back on its feet quite quickly. I mean, if you think about those things, there's two or three things. One is just survival for a lot of these businesses, right? They'll do what they can around supply chain and so on, but these are businesses that were possibly already in survival mode, right? I mean, there were a lot of problems, so they've got cash flow issues. That's a real thing for them.
Do you think some might close because of these floods?
I think it's entirely possible. I think the other thing is around insurance, right? Even if you've got full insurance, the time that it takes to get the claim assessed and all of those things means that, again, that's a cash flow issue for you. There'll be some with partial insurance, and what we're seeing actually is a surprising number, and it's all anecdotal, but a surprising number that aren't insured, and people can be judgmental about that, but the reality is, I go back to my other point, maybe it's hospo, maybe it's retail, and they were already on the bones of their backside.
And they were cutting costs wherever they could cut them, right?
Correct.
Okay, so for those businesses who either aren't insured or who are going to have to wait a long time to get a payout, is there a role for government to support them in the interim in an event like this?
Yes, there is. I mean, yesterday, myself and other business associations met with government agencies and Minister Robertson and Stuart Nash, and we were talking about these things. I mean, I think what is most likely is a Merrill Relief or the Merrill Relief Fund. That's a very flexible, and it's sort of a well-worn path actually for incidents where we haven't had anything quite like this, but like
So
this.
You'll have to knock on Wayne Brown's door for that money?
Wayne Brown and also the government, realistically. I think the other thing I would say though is many hands make light work. So I mean, there's also a real role for the insurance companies and the banks here, and it's been good to see some of them step up with understanding policies about deferring payment and like that. That's essential.
Okay, have you heard from Wayne Brown yet?
Yeah, he was on the call yesterday with ministers and so on. I think the reality is these things catch people's surprise. I know there's lots of criticism, but in the end, my sense was from that call a sense of confidence that actually now things are up and running. Government and local government are working closely together.
Are you at all able to put a GDP figure, an impact on GDP potentially?
I'd be a brave person to do that. I mean, I've really gone, I suppose, as far as we can at this stage, which is to say this is possibly more than the hundreds of millions. It's a really significant event for business, households, everyone in New Zealand.
Absolutely, Simon. It is early days, as you say. Simon Bridges, who's with us this morning, Auckland Business Chamber CEO.